Good afternoon to all. I have already in the last class I have discussed about different methods for determination of molecular weight of macromolecules. Today I will discuss few methods. First one, viscometric method, that is viscosity measurement method. This method requires the measurement of viscosity of polymer solution of different concentration, which can be done easily with the help of Oswald viscometer. You have already done this practical in BSc level, where we have used Oswald viscometer for the measurement of viscosity. However, this method is not an absolute method because it requires calibration using certain other substances of known molecular masses. The theory of this method is like that: if eta is the viscosity of a solution and eta 0 that of pure solvent at the same temperature, the ratio of eta by eta 0 is called relative viscosity of the solution, and usually represented by eta r, that is eta by eta 0 equal to eta r. Eta r means that is relative viscosity. Another quantity, specific viscosity. Specific viscosity eta sp is given by eta sp equal to eta minus eta 0 by eta 0. Further, it is observed that the ratio of eta sp by c, where c is the concentration of the solution, generally expressed in gram per 100 ml of the solution, varies linearly with concentration. The extrapolation eta sp by c value to zero concentration give what is known as intrinsic viscosity, and represented by third bracket eta, that is eta third bracket eta equal to eta sp by c limit c tends to 0. The intrinsic viscosity is found to be related to the molecular mass m by the expression third bracket eta equal to r m to the power a. It's an important equation, important relation, where r and a are constant for the given polymer series in a particular solvent. Here in this diagram, this is the Oswald viscometer, and this is the setup for measurement of viscosity of polymer. Apparatus consisting of thermostated capillary viscometer for the determination of mean molecular mass of a polymer. If K and A are known for a particular polymer series in a particular solvent, the value of M can be determined by finding eta for the polymer under investigation. Eta for the polymer under investigation can be found by plotting eta sp by c versus c and extrapolating the result to the zero concentration as shown in the diagram below. This experiment was done for polyvinyl chloride in cyclohexane at 25 degrees centigrade. To determine the K and A number of sample of the same polymer series are taken whose molecular masses have been determined by other method like osmometric or light scattering method. this equation eta equal to r m to the power a, taking log eta equal to log r plus a log m. Now this is a linear equation. Now plot of log eta log m will be a straight line with slope a and intercept log k. Y equal to mx plus c. Thus, the value of k and a, k means r, value of k and a can be obtained for the given polymer series in a particular solvent. Here, look at this graph. C versus eta sp by c. Straight line and the extrapolated to 0, that is intercept plot of, this is the plot of eta sp versus c for c polyvinyl chloride in cyclohexane at 25 degrees centigrade. The molecular mass obtained by this method is called viscosity average molecular mass, that is mv bar, viscosity average molecular mass. If a equal to 1, then it is equal to mass average molecular mass. However, if as a is usually lie between 0.5 to 1, then the viscosity average molecular mass mv bar usually lie between number average molecular mass and mass average molecular mass. That viscosity average molecular mass lies between number average molecular mass and mass average molecular mass. Here, mathematical problem, one mathematical problem, write the intrinsic viscosity molecular mass relationship, determine the value of two constants appearing in the above relation when a fraction of a polymer of molecular weight 3400, sorry, 34,000, 61,000 and 130000 dissolve in an organic solvent, give the intrinsic viscosities as 1.02, 1.60 and 2.75 respectively at 25 degrees centigrade. We know the intrinsic viscosity of molecular mass having relation eta equal to, third bracket eta equal to k m to the power a. This is the important relation, k m to the power a. And here, substituting the value in this equation, here corresponding intrinsic viscosity 1.02, 1.60 and 2.76, so 2.75. So putting this value 1.02 equal to k into 34,000 to the power a, 1.60 equal to k into 61,000 to the power a. Now dividing these two equations, we get 1.60 by 1.02 equal to 61,000 by 34,000 to the power a. Now calculating 1.60 by 1.02 equal to 61 by 34 to the power a. Next, taking log on both sides, we get A log 1.794 equal to log 1.568. Just divide. Just divide here and here also divide. Next calculating, we get A equal to log 1.568 by log 1.794 equal to 0.1953 by 0.2539 equal to 0.769. Now substitute the value of A in equation 1, above equation. We get 1.02 equal to k into 34,000 to the power 0.769. Now taking logarithm of both sides, we get log 1.02 equal to log k plus 0.769 log 34,000. Similarly, after calculating, finally we get log k and k also. K equal to 3.341 into 10 to the minus 4. This is the answer. Now, step polymerization. When monomers contain some active functional groups which can react together with the elimination of some simple molecules like water, ACl, etc., and result into the formation of a long chain, we obtain step growth polymers. And this process is called step growth polymerization. I have already discussed. Here, ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid. Ethylene glycol, reaction of ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid, it gives, after elimination of a water molecule, it gives dacron or polyester or dacron. Similarly, phenol and formaldehyde forms a bakelite which gives, as shown in this figure, it is an example of cross-linked polymer. Bakelite, phenol in combination with N formaldehyde, it gives a cross-linked polymer, that is bakelite. Cross-linked polymers are generally obtained where there is a possibility of chemical reaction at more than one point in the molecule. In the absence of such condition, such opportunity, linear polymers are formed. Next, kinetics of polymerization. Kinetics of polymerization. Basically, first of all, I will discuss kinetics of Adimann's polymerization and then condensation polymerization. Addition polymerization, consider addition polymerization, catalytic polymerization of a monomer, say M, monomer M, CH2 double bond CHX, here X is halogen. The following stages are involved in this process. Here I to R. First step of addition polymerization, initiator. That is, initiator initiate and it yields a free radical. Initiator molecule I yields a free radical R. The rate of production of the free radical is given by the equation R equal to K1 into concentration of I. Say this is equation number 1. Next step, the free radical R add to the double bond of the monomer molecule generate a new free radical, that is CH2 double bond CHX plus R, and the product R CH2 CHX, and the rate is K2, rate constant, that is K2. Similarly, here new radical is generated, then the new radical add to the another unreacted monomer, and finally it forms R CH2 CHX whole 2, and so on. The rate of the disappearance of monomer is given by, here monomer converted to another radical, then that radical react with another new monomer to form another radical. In that way, chain is continuously growing on. The rate of the disappearance of the monomer M is given by minus dm by dt equal to K2 into concentration of R into M. Say this is equation number 2. This is the chain propagation step are the second order and very rapid. This is the chain propagation step and this is very rapid step. Third step, termination. Basically, addition polymerization occurs in 3 steps. First step, initiation. Second step, chain propagation, and third step, chain termination. In the termination step, chain is arrested. In this third step, chain is arrested and it gives the chain termination is achieved by the recombination of two free radical, which is formed in the chain propagation step. Finally, that radical combine to form a stable molecule, stable polymer. So here R CH2 CHX whole n and X CH2 CH2R combine to form a R CH2 CHX whole n X CH2 whole n R. This is the final step, and here rate K3, rate constant K3. If M10 is the total concentration of monomer in the beginning and summation of N1 n equal to 1 to infinity Mn, that all the molecules at time t, the fraction F of the reaction that has occurred at time t is given by F equal to third bracket Mn 0 minus summation of n0 n1 to infinity Mn third bracket divided by M1 0. Here the concentration of the NMR is given by the relation Mn equal to m10 f n minus 1 bracket 1 minus f square. This is the final concentration of Mn n mar of the polymers by addition polymerization process. In the next class, I will discuss the kinetics of polymers by step growth or condensation methods.